I'm Andy Banker in Chicago with Illinois Democratic candidate for governor J.B. Pritzker, and keeping up with him lately has been a real challenge.
Political heavyweights are so focused on Missouri and Illinois. Andy.
Yeah, Vic, a candidate for a state senate here in Illinois spoke a short time ago, and he talked about the blue wave he felt when he was campaigning months ago in the summer heat in East St. Louis. He said it would be a shame to lose that now. Well, that's why Vice President Joe Biden is here. Let me see if I can go say hi to Steve Stenger. Not ready to declare victory yet. I think they're waiting on one more batch of numbers, but it would certainly seem an almost impossible hill for Charlie Doodley to climb. Howard, can you see me back here? Hey, Steve, do you have a second? Andy Banker with Fox 2. What a commanding lead. I know I've talked to some people in your campaign, maybe expected a double-digit lead at this point, but you're talking not just double-digit, but more than 30%. What are you waiting on?
Well, you don't want to be overly presumptuous.
Election on 11, 5 days now until polls open for the 2018 midterms. The head of elections for the state of Missouri is making a guarantee your vote will count. This as frenetic campaigning continues and President Trump comes back to Missouri. We have team coverage for you. News 11's Rocky Madden is in Jefferson City with the latest from the Missouri Secretary of State and the governor on the upcoming elections. And News 11's Mike Colombo live in Columbia, Mo, ahead of President Trump's rally there with Senate candidate Josh Hawley. We begin with Rocky. What's up, Rock? Yeah, at long last, Mandy, you mentioned the governor, Bruce Rauner, conceding the victory to J.B. Pritzker. That was nearly 2 hours ago, maybe a little more than that now. But J.B. Pritzker, the new governor-elect, has finally taken the stage with his running mate. Thank you, John. Election on 11. One of the measures voters will be deciding Tuesday is Amendment 1. It's a big issue. News 11's Vic Faust joins us with what it is and what it would do, Vic.
This is an interesting one, Andy, because opponents and proponents agree with half of it, but the other half, they couldn't be further apart.
President Trump in Columbia, Missouri right now, drumming up support for Republican Senate candidate, the Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley. The crowd estimate up to 15,000. Let's take a live look right now. The president has just walked off of Air Force One. All right, the president getting ready. The crowd won't stop cheering him. We're going to hang here and try to listen into some of his remarks. Again, campaigning for Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley, who's trying to unseat two-term incumbent, the Democratic senator from the state of Missouri, Claire McCaskill. Let's listen to the president again here.
Hello, Missouri. I'm thrilled to be back.
Andy, we'll send it back to you.
Mike, thanks. We'll see you later tonight. Wow, look at that crowd more than 2 hours before the president even shows up. Hawley's opponent, Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill, was in South St. Louis today to kick off a statewide canvassing effort she calls Fighting for You. And in these final days before the election, News 11 got an exclusive inside look at her campaign.
Yesterday I went from 7 a.m. and I rolled in my house last night at about 10. I'm blessed with high energy.
Still, it is grueling for both candidate and staff plotting the next stops on a months-long trail that won't end until Tuesday night.
I think people are hungry for someone who doesn't think it's all about saying the other guy stinks. Josh Hawley's campaign has pretty much been Claire McCaskill stinks.
Her Republican opponent, Josh Hawley, is banking on people being hungry for a new senator. President Trump, who carried Missouri by close to 20 points in 2016, will appear with Hawley in Missouri 2 times in the campaign's final week. McCaskill got a boost from former Vice President Joe Biden last night.
Frankly, I'm honored that President Trump feels like he needs to come twice in 5 days. That's something.
And she sees health care as her defining issue.
I think it is very clear that I am the one who has stood at the gate to protect people's rights against insurance companies, including protection for pre-existing conditions.
As her campaign logs its final miles on the RV she calls Big Blue, she says she is fueled by the energy of those waiting along the way.
The strangers that provide hugs everywhere I go. This is my favorite part of the campaign. I want to end this campaign on a positive note. I want to end this campaign being who I am and hopefully reminding Missourians why they have been so kind to give me this opportunity to serve.
Real Clear Politics has a new average of polls from the past week in this race. They show Hawley with a slim 2-point lead, still considered a toss-up. Again, just 5 days to go.
Fox 2's Andy Banker is with Pritzker's camp in Chicago and continues our live You Decide team coverage there. Andy?
Yeah, Maddie, 15 stops just around Chicago just today. He's still got 14 and 15 to go tonight, with 15 being here, his election party at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. And it was a campaign stop in East St. Louis with former Vice President Joe Biden that seemed to be the big send-off for this final frenzy. That was Thursday. He's been hopscotching across the state ever since, up to Chicago, back to Belleville yesterday where we saw him, culminating today with a lunchtime stop at a Chicago landmark, Manny's Deli. You may notice that place. It's been in the backdrop of a lot of TV dramas, a favorite spot of President Obama, who stopped in after he was elected to the White House. Now, Pritzker tells me he's encouraged by the large voter turnout up here today, and he stuck to his key policy initiatives, making health care more affordable, guaranteeing college or vocational education for all, and bringing better, higher-paying jobs to Illinois. Along with Manny's famous corned beef and pastrami, there was something else he was smelling.
We smell victory, that's for sure, and here at Manny's, this is a tradition. It's a tradition for all those of us who know that victory is ours, and believe very strongly that, coming here is kind of a rite of passage.
Pritzker is a billionaire, the heir to the Hyatt hotel fortune, and one thing he's been known for this entire campaign is spending his own money, an eye-popping $171 million at last count, by far a record in state politics. Live in Chicago, Andy Banker, Fox 2 News.
Hey, those numbers you just read are the last ones I saw. I point to those numbers because we may have very well made history here tonight in two ways. Those numbers. Bruce Rauner may have gone down to the biggest defeat in Illinois political history for an incumbent governor. This is a landslide victory for J.B. Pritzker. Also, Pritzker's running mate, not to be overlooked here, Juliana Stratton, a state representative from the Chicago area, becomes the first African-American woman ever elected to that office of lieutenant governor for the state of Illinois. Let's roll the video and show you that moment of victory with the balloons dropping, the confetti coming down. You guys mentioned how long it took for the new governor-elect to come out and address the troops and declare victory, or at least accept it. It was about 2 hours, shortly after 9 o'clock, that he finally did so, after Bruce Rauner called him shortly after the polls closed and conceded.
Back to the nation's capital and the Capitol building rotunda, where the body of former president, the 41st president of the United States, George H.W. Bush, is lying in state. Current president Donald Trump and his wife Melania have just arrived to pay their respects. The body of the former president will be in the nation's capital through Wednesday, we're told. There will be a funeral service at the National Cathedral then, and then his body will be transported back to his presidential library in Texas, where he will be laid to rest next to his wife Barbara, who passed away earlier this year in April. And among the health ailments that the former president was dealing with, those who knew him best said heartbreak may have been the biggest blow, the one he couldn't handle when he lost his wife. They're together for so long, 6 children, one of whom, of course, became President of the United States himself, George W. Bush, the 43rd president. He's been at the Capitol today. We've seen him. And there goes President Trump and the First Lady. Solemn moments in the nation's capital tonight. Back to news here.